कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। A worried Rama was waiting for the message to have come from Hanuman. Hanuman, the Navavyakarana Pandita, Apara Paravara Parikha Parivrita Parapura Parasrita Davadahana Javana Pavana Bhava Kapivara Parishvanga Bhavita Sarvasvadana. Hanuman came and effectively communicated what he had seen of Sita and what was asked by Sita to convey to Rama. He even presented the Chudamani. Despite Hanuman telling that Sita is there in Ashoka Vatika of Lanka, despite Hanuman telling that she is waiting for Rama's arrival, and despite Hanuman telling that Rama will win over Ravana, that late evening, that night, that next morning, was as if Rama was sitting on pins and needles. He was so worried as to who will take the message of me being safe here, of Hanuman having reached safely to Bharatadesham and conveyed the message to me. That is when he spots a beautiful Hamsa bird, not an ordinary one, a rajahamsa, which had the hue of a full moon. Raka Chandra Dyuti Sahacharam Rajahamsam Dadarsha. So the verse from Hamsa Sandesham goes like this. Kalye se nam kapikulapate turnamudhyojayishyan duri bhava janaka duhitur duyamanantaratma krida khelam kamala sarasi kwapi kalopayatam raka chandra dyuti sahacharam rajahamsam dadarsha. He saw a beautiful rajahamsa there. Now, the rajahamsa had no objective of taking Rama's message to Lanka. It had no plans to go to a foreign country. But Rama wanted rajahamsa to go to Lanka. So what he does, he describes his state, the state of Rama here. Tasmin Sitam gati manugate taddakulanka murtau. Why did Rama think of Sita? Why did Rama think of sending the Hamsa to Sita? There has to be a reason. The poet here, who is incidentally a great Acharya Varya called Vedanta Deshika, he lists down the reasons why Rama could have sent. Tasmin Sitam gati manugate taddakulanka murtau. Tan manjira pradamaninade nastya nishpanda drishtihi virasheto vilayamagamat mayatatma muhurtam shanke tivram bhavati samaye shasanam meenaketoho. Shasanam meenaketoho. Meena denotes a fish. Matsya, meena. These are all Palyaya Vachaka Shabdam for the fish. Meenaketoho, the one who has got the emblem of a fish in his flag. Who is he? Cupid. Maran or Ananga or Kandarpa. These are all the names for Kamadeva. Kamadeva's emblem is fish. It seems because of the separation he has had from Sita, Manmatha was troubling him. So there was Vipralamba Shringaram. Shringaram is love. Love can come when you're together and when you're separated as well. So that is called Vipralamba Shringaram. Rama was away from Sita because of Vipralamba Shringaram. Kandarpa, Kamadeva was hitting through the arrow. I'm sure the youngsters will know. If you're struck, arrow struck, love struck, you'll put a heart and an arrow that pierces through that, right? So Rama deals with arrows and the bow. So the arrow is piercing his heart, it seems. Shasanam Meenaketoho. Now I told you that the moment he spotted the rajahamsa, the bird, the king among birds, he was reminded of Sita. The poet here, Vedanta Deshika in Hamsa Sandesham, lists the reasons why he was reminded of Sita. Tasmin Sitam Gatim Anugate. Gatim Anugate. When Rajahamsa was walking towards the pond, the gait of the Rajahamsa, Rama was reminded of the Hamsa Gati of Sita. When Sita walks, she walks like the Hamsa. When Hamsa walks, it walks like Sita. So for Hamsa, it is Sita's Gati. For Sita, it is Hamsa Gati. Since Sita has Hamsa Gati, when Rama saw Hamsa, he was reminded of Sita's Hamsa Gati. So Tasmin Sitam Gatim Anugate. And second, the poet says, Taddukulanka Murtau. Remember, in Yuddha Kandam, when I spoke in detail about Dasharatha's instructions, Kaikeyi did say that Rama has to go to the forest for 14 years. She ordered Rama through Dasharatha very intelligently. But at the same time, when Sita insisted that I shall accompany you, Rama, to the forest for 14 years, Sita wanted to be as minimally dressed, simply dressed as Rama. So Rama wore Valkalam, the attire that is worn by hermits in the forest. When Sita was unable to hold the dress onto her hip, the wives of Dasharatha started crying. Sita even says, how will people in the forest, how are they able to manage with such clothes? That is when Dasharatha says, my son has the karma that he has to suffer from these Kaikeyi's boons. But remember, my daughter-in-law should not suffer. Lakshmana, I command you, whatever be the silk saris and jewelry required for Sita in the forest for 14 years, carry it along. So, innumerable dresses, innumerable matching jewelry for Sita was carried by Lakshmana to the forest. Now, why am I saying this? Because now is the era of making an adaptation, a cinematic adaptation of the Ramayana. Is it wrong in Sanatana Dharma to make dramas and movies out of Ramayana and Mahabharata? Not wrong at all. Because in Sanatana Dharma, we have been given the poetic license, the director license to direct. But the basic thing that is expected from directors and script writers is they have to listen and read Ramayana first. They should not watch some other movie and make a Ramayana out of it. Because that person who has made the earlier movie may have not read the Ramayana. When you make movies without due consultation and without being pragmatic, all you will do is ending up making a disaster, not a movie. So in the Ramayana, it is very clearly mentioned, Sita did not wear Valkalam in the forest. She wore silk clothes with proper zari border. You can choose whichever pattern you want. Why? Vedanta Deshika gets reminded of this. He says, when he spotted the Rajahamsa, Rama spotted the Rajahamsa, the gait of Rajahamsa reminded that of Sita. When he saw the Rajahamsa, it seems he remembered Sita on the day of her abduction, kidnapping. She wore a silk sari with Hamsa border. Hamsa was there in her sari border, it seems. Taddukulanka murtau. See, generally when somebody is kidnapped or lost, even today, the police will ask, what dress was the person wearing? So here they ask, Taddukulanka murtau, Hamsa motif was there. Tan manjira pratima ninade, nyasta nishpanda drishtihi. He says, even when the gate, that voice comes. Birds have a very, very shrill, soft voice. You call it the chirping of the birds. There are many, many verses in the Tamil language which say that Andal used to wake her friends up when she used to hear Pullum Shilambina Kan, Pullarayan Koil, Pullum Shilambina, Pullin Vaikindana. So there will always be a reference to the birds. So Hamsa's voice was very nectarine. So he says, Tan Manjira Pratima Ninade Nyasta Nishpanda Drishtihi. So the gait of a swan, Hamsagati, the voice of a swan, at the same time the motif of the swan on Sita's Zari border. Now interestingly, I sang this verse. Tasmin Sitam Gati Manugate Taddukulanka Murtau Tan Manjira Pratimaninade Nyasta Nishpanda Drishtihi Virascheto Vilayamagamat Tanmayatatma Muhurtam Shanketi Vram Bhavati Samaye Shasanam Meenaketoho. This rag in which I sang is interestingly called Hamsanadam. So the ragam is Hamsanadam, and the Hamsa's voice was like Sita, and the Hamsa's depiction was on Sita's border, and the Hamsa's walk was like that of Sita. So Rama was reminded of Sita when he saw the rajahamsam, says Vedanta Deshika. Then Rama requests the bird, see, please go to Lanka Pradesham, tell my beloved Sita that I am coming. Labdhashvasaha kathamapitada lakshmanasyagra janma sandeshena pranayamahata maithilim jivayishyan. Tell her not to die. Tell her that I am not dead. Tell her that I am coming. Chakre tasmai sarasija dalair sopacharam saparyam. If you owe Rajahamsa, because Rajahamsa, remember, Rajahamsam is generally spotted in Manasa Sarovar. There is a pond which was created by the Manas Shakti of Brahma. So it is called Manasam. So it is, even today many people go on a yatra to Manasa Sarovar in Kailash, right? That is found in the lower part of Tibet. So they are all snow-clad regions, very cold. So the bird has been living there for many years. Now it has come to the south. So now Rama says, you have come to the south, maybe you are sweating, you can't take this summer. So I will take some leaves of the lotus and then fan you. Chakre tasmai sarasija dalair sopacharam saparyam kanta sleshad adhiga subhagaha kaminam dutalabha. The deity whom you are witnessing here is Mahalakshmi. She is the replica of the presiding deity of Kanchipuram. There is a saying, Nagareshu Kanchi. Amongst the cities, it was Kanchipuram in those days. And in Kanchipuram, the residing and the presiding deity is Devaraja or Varadaraja. Shri Nidhim, Aparam Arthinam, Arthitartha Paridana Dikshitam, Sarva Bhuta Suhridam Dayanidhim, Devarajam, Adhirajam Ashraye, says one of the poets. So this is a beautiful, large temple. And in this temple, the Utsavam, which is very grand, celebrated in grandeur, happens in the month of May. And Kanchipuram is known for 3 seasons: summer, more summer, and most summer. So it happens in May, which is called the period of Agni Nakshatram, very hot. So when Varadaraja, when Mahalakshmi's consort gets out of the temple and returns, there is a paddhati of doing Chamara Kainkaryam through some herbs. Here devotees do Chamara Kainkaryam to the Lord, but that Lord said, I will do Chamara Kainkaryam to Rajahamsam. So he says, Kantva Sleshat Adhiga Subhagaha Kaminam Dutalavaha. Now comes the question. The poet asks, why should Ramachandra do this fanning service for a bird? See, when you are in love, you won't know whom you are falling at the feet to. So he was in love with Sita. So when that love reached its pinnacle, whether it was Rajahamsa or whoever, he would have fell at the feet of them, because for him Sita was the objective. So this said, Rama has to convince the Hamsa. He has told the Hamsa that I am reminded of Sita when I look at you. But he has to tell the greatness of the Hamsa to the Hamsa. See, the Hamsa is an Indian bird. it is close to an Indian politician bird. You have to keep praising that bird, then only that bird will do its job. So Rama does the role of a very good citizen. He keeps praising that particular politician bird. But how does he praise? More in the next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a two-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.